What if the most intimate details of your life were never truly private to begin with? Not hidden in locked diaries or whispered in confidence, but quietly stored inside machines you welcomed into your home. Smart devices promise comfort, efficiency, and convenience. Yet beneath their sleek designs lies an invisible archive, one that never sleeps, never forgets, and never truly turns off. Every time you speak a command, pause a movie, adjust the lights, or even walk across a room, data is being created. Not dramatic data, not suspicious data, just small, ordinary fragments of daily life. But when combined, these fragments become a disturbingly accurate mirror of who you are. Consider the smart speaker sitting calmly on your shelf. You trust it to listen only when summoned, yet its microphones remain alert, scanning for wake words amid background noise. In doing so, it captures ambient audio tone, rhythm, timing. Researchers have shown that even without recording full conversations, metadata alone can reveal household routines, sleep cycles, emotional states, and social patterns. The device doesn't need to understand your words to understand you. Silence, it turns out, speaks volumes. Then there is the smart television. To you, it's just entertainment. To data systems, it's a behavioral sensor. It tracks what you watch, when you pause, when you rewind, and when you lose interest. From these signals, algorithms infer mood, attention span, stress levels, and even relationship dynamics within the room. A late-night binge, a sudden channel change, a repeated rewatch, each action quietly logged, categorized, and stored somewhere far beyond your living room. Even appliances once considered lifeless are now observers. Smart refrigerators log consumption patterns, grocery cycles, and dietary shifts. Over time, these records can indicate lifestyle changes, financial stress, health concerns, or emotional coping behaviors. A device meant to keep food fresh slowly learns the rhythms of your life when you're home, when you're not, and what you reach for when no one is watching. Fitness trackers take this even further. They don't just count steps. They monitor heart rate variability, sleep disturbances, recovery time, and stress indicators. From this, systems can predict illness before symptoms appear, detect emotional distress, or identify behavioral vulnerabilities. Your body becomes data. Your biology becomes a pattern. And once stored, that pattern exists independently of you. Before we go deeper, welcome to True Terror Files, a channel where we uncover the unsettling truths hidden beneath everyday reality. If you're drawn to stories that blur the line between technology, fear, and truth, make sure to subscribe and join our growing community, because what you're about to hear may forever change how you see the devices around you. Now ask yourself this: if these machines know your habits better than your closest friends, who truly controls the story of your life? We are often reassured with the comforting phrase, "Your data is anonymized." It sounds safe, it sounds final. But anonymization is not erasure, it is fragmentation, and fragments can always be reassembled. When data from different devices, platforms, and services is combined, anonymity collapses. Location pings align with viewing habits. Voice patterns match movement, schedules, shopping histories connect to health data. Suddenly, a nameless profile becomes unmistakably human. This is how echoes form in the cloud. Your digital footprint is not a single trailer, it is a web. Every smart device contributes a thread, and together they outline your identity with chilling clarity. Studies have shown that just a few data points, often as few as 3 or 4, are enough to uniquely identify an individual with near-perfect accuracy. You don't need a name when behavior itself becomes a fingerprint. Predictive analytics thrives on this accumulation. Your past actions don't just describe who you were, they influence what you will be shown, offered, or denied in the future. Recommendations become nudges. Nudges become habits. Habits become expectations. Over time, systems begin to anticipate your needs before you consciously feel them. The terrifying question is not, are we being watched, but are we being shaped? Behind this process exists an invisible marketplace. Data brokers, companies most people have never heard of, buy and sell access to these insights. They don't deal in raw recordings. They trade in conclusions, likelihood scores, behavioral predictions, risk assessments. Your smart devices feed this ecosystem continuously, often without your explicit awareness. And once data enters this market, reclaiming it becomes nearly impossible. The cloud feels distant, abstract, harmless, but it is where your digital shadow grows larger than your physical presence. It remembers what you forgot. It connects dots you never saw, and it persists long after you believe a moment has passed. So when we say your devices are silent witnesses, we mean this literally. They testify not with words, but with data stored, analyzed, and echoed endlessly across systems you will never see. Where data exists, intrusion follows. Smart devices are part of the Internet of Things, a vast network of interconnected systems, many of which prioritize convenience over security. Weak passwords, outdated firmware, and poorly encrypted communications create openings, not theoretical openings, real ones, documented ones, exploited ones. Unauthorized access to smart cameras, baby monitors, and speakers has already occurred across the world. Strangers speaking through nursery devices, lights turning on by themselves, doors unlocking without explanation. These incidents are often dismissed as glitches, yet behind many lies deliberate digital trespassing. Once inside a single device, attackers can pivot through home networks, mapping routines and vulnerabilities with alarming ease. Remote device control isn't just unsettling, it can be strategic, manipulating temperature systems, disabling alarms, or monitoring audio feeds can provide insight into when a home is empty or when occupants are asleep. Digital intrusion becomes a rehearsal for physical threat. The line between cyber and real-world danger blurs. Even without malicious intent, misuse can occur internally. Employers, insurers, or third-party partners may gain access to device data in ways users never anticipated. What starts as convenience quietly becomes surveillance, and unlike traditional spying, this form requires no shadows. No hidden cameras, just permission boxes we clicked without reading. The true horror is not that devices can be hacked. It's that we may never know when they have been. As artificial intelligence evolves, it no longer simply processes data, it interprets it. Your device interactions feed models that learn your preferences, reactions, fears, and desires. Over time, they construct something eerily familiar, a digital version of you, not a clone of your face, but a simulation of your decision-making mind. This digital doppelganger can predict how you'll respond to messages, what you'll likely believe, and which emotional triggers influence you most. In the wrong hands, such profiles can be used for manipulation far beyond advertising, shaping opinions, influencing choices, or exploiting moments of vulnerability. A darker frontier is emerging: synthetic identity theft. Using fragments of real data, AI systems can generate convincing replicas of speech patterns, writing styles, and behavioral traits. These aren't crude imitations. They are refined echoes, capable of acting on your behalf in digital spaces, And because they are built from your own data, detecting them becomes increasingly difficult. At this point, identity itself becomes divisible. You exist physically, but also statistically. And the statistical version may be more accessible, more valuable, and more vulnerable than the real you. Ask yourself, if a system knows how you think, does it need your permission to act like you? Fear alone is not the answer. Awareness is power, and control begins with understanding. The first step is auditing your devices. Review privacy settings. Disable unnecessary permissions. Regularly delete stored voice recordings and usage histories where possible. Separate devices onto dedicated networks to limit lateral access. Encryption and compartmentalization are becoming essential tools. Emerging privacy-focused technologies aim to process data locally rather than sending everything to the cloud. While no system is perfect, informed choices reduce exposure. But this is not solely an individual battle. Collective responsibility matters. Stronger regulations, transparent data practices, and user-first design must be demanded and not requested. Smart homes should serve the people inside them, not silently observe them. Your devices don't have to be enemies, but they should never be unquestioned witnesses. If this video made you see your digital world differently, you're not alone. This is exactly why True Terror Files Official exists, to uncover the truths hiding in plain sight. Subscribe, stay curious, and remember, sometimes the scariest stories aren't about ghosts in the dark, but data in the light.